to our core knowledge lesson for today, Thursday, March 19th. We are actually learning about Women's History Month since it is March. And so in our core knowledge, we have an important people lesson. And so today we are going to be learning about a super awesome lady named Sally Ride. Our first vocabulary word is adventurous. Everybody say adventurous. Great. Adventurous means ready to try something new and exciting. For example, I was adventurous on the playground when I went down the really high slide. Astronaut. Everybody say astronaut. Astronaut is a person who travels to outer space. For example, when I grow up, I want to be an astronaut so I can fly high up into the sky, close up, and visit the moon. Decided. Everybody say decided. Decided means made a choice. For example, today I decided I wanted to eat a salad for lunch instead of pizza. I was trying to be healthy. Launch. Everybody say launch. Launch means to shoot up and take off. For example, when I am at the pool, I launch myself off the diving board into the water. Space shuttle. Everybody say space shuttle. Space shuttle is a vehicle that's used to take people into outer space. For example, the space shuttle went very fast as it blasted into the sky. Scientist. Everybody say scientist. Scientist is a person who does experiments to learn about the world. For example, the scientist wanted to find out how seeds sprout, so she planted one in her garden. Outer space. Everybody say outer space. Outer space is the area really far up in the Earth's sky. For example, Jenna wanted to grow up and be an astronaut so she could travel into outer space. All right, boys and girls, this is a picture of an astronaut. An astronaut is a person who travels into outer space. Outer space is way up in the sky where the moon and the stars are. Listen to find out the name of an American woman who became an astronaut when she grew up. Sally Ride was born around the same time your grandparents were born. She loved playing sports like tennis and football. She was strong and adventurous. She enjoyed doing her schoolwork and learned as much as she could about science. When she was a little girl, she watched rockets launch into space on TV. She thought it was really exciting to see astronauts go into space. Those lucky people got to fly higher into the sky than anyone had ever been before. So boys and girls, when Sally was a little girl, she watched rockets on TV and dreamed about going into space. Raise your hand if you work hard in school. Raise your hand if you would like to be an astronaut when you grow up. What kinds of things might you do if you were an astronaut? Go ahead and tell me, what would you do if you were an astronaut? So that's Sally Ride, and she's watching astronaut take off on TV. Sally Ride worked hard in school. She learned about the stars and about how machines and cars and rockets worked. She decided she wanted to be an astronaut and fly into space. People said to her, "Sally, it's really hard to be an astronaut." And she answered, "Just you see, I'm going to be an astronaut." What do you guys think? Do you guys think Sally Ride will become an astronaut when she grows up? Well, you are right. She did get a job as an astronaut. When she finished going to school, Sally got a job as an American astronaut. Sally Ride became a member of a team of astronauts. These astronauts all worked together to fly a big space shuttle high up into the sky, higher than any airplane could fly. So boys and girls, a team is a group of people who all work together to get something done. This right here, this is Sally Ride's team of astronauts. You could have a team of football players, a team of soccer players, or a team of astronauts. Who in this class has been on a team? Raise your hand if you've been on a team before. Tell me, what kind of team were you on? Baseball, soccer, very cool, very cool. Who in this class would like to be on a team of astronauts? You would? Very, very cool. On launch day, Sally and the other astronauts put on their suits and got ready to go into space. They heard the countdown: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. The space shuttle blasted into space. This is a picture of the space shuttle blasting off into space. The very tip of the space shuttle is pointed straight up into the sky, into outer space. There's lots of fire shooting out of the bottom of the rockets. The white part is the part of the space shuttle where the astronauts ride. Right there. Let me read the part about the blast off again, but this time I want you to stand up and count down with me. We're going to start at 10 and count backwards to 1. When I say blast off, I want you to jump up in the air like you're going into space. Ready? Begin. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. Great job. Sally and her teammates lived inside the space shuttle for 6 days as it flew around the Earth. They looked out of the window and they saw the planet Earth below them. They took pictures and learned about Earth and the sky. This is how the Earth looked when Sally Ride looked out of her space shuttle's window. This is the Earth down here. The green part is the land, the blue part is the water, just like in the ocean. And the white swirls are clouds. Up here is outer space. Right up here is outer space. And the stars. Who has been outside during the night and seen a black sky, the stars, and the moon? Sally flew her spaceship up really close to the moon. Pretty cool, huh? Sally learned that life is different for astronauts living in a space shuttle high up in the sky. She wore a special suit. She ate special food. Her body floated in the air, even inside the space shuttle. Sally Ride thought it was really fun to float. She could do somersaults in the air. When their work was done, Sally Ride and the astronauts flew the space shuttle carefully down out of the sky and landed back on Earth again. So boys and girls, this is a picture of Sally Ride inside the space shuttle. All these buttons, look at all of those buttons and all of those levers help drive the space shuttle. Sally is wearing her special spacesuit. She has a microphone near her mouth so she can talk to the people on her team. Look at how she's floating in the air. In space, there isn't any gravity, so everyone floats around. Can you imagine just floating through the air like that? Might be kind of fun, huh? Many years later, Sally Ride still remembered her first trip into outer space. She remembered when the rocket blasted off. There's so much power. There's so much thunder, she said. She remembered looking out the window. I saw the blackness of space and then the bright blue Earth, she said. Every chance she could, she shared the excitement of science and space with kids. She wanted everyone, girls and boys, to know that they could become scientists and astronauts if they wanted to be. Sally Ride told everyone what it was like to be an astronaut. She told them about what it was like to see the Earth from way up in the space shuttle. She wanted everyone to know what it was like to be an astronaut. Remember in our read aloud, we heard the words outer space. Listen for the word space while I read part of the read aloud you heard before. This is a true story about Sally Ride, who became famous as the first American woman to travel into space. She was a scientist and an astronaut. So boys and girls, space is the area far above the Earth and the sky. Sometimes people call it outer space. I want you guys to say those words with me. Say outer space with me. Ready, begin. Outer space. Great job. In this picture, we can see Sally Ride's space shuttle in outer space. The black part of the picture is outer space. This is Earth. Outer space is all around the Earth where we live. I want everyone to go look up in the sky where outer space is. We can't see all the way into outer space during the daytime, but we can point to where it is. So tonight, before you go to bed, look up into the sky and see the moon and the stars. The moon and the stars are in outer space. The word space can also mean something different. It also means something else. It can mean the area around something. If there isn't enough space around something, it can be hard to fit or to get around it. If we don't leave enough space when we push in the chairs, people get stuck on the way to go to the bathroom. When we're in our classroom, we all need to make sure to give each other enough space to do our work. If someone is playing with the blocks and another student wants to play, they should check with their friend to make sure there's enough space for everyone. If we don't give our friends enough space, they will feel crowded. Okay, boys and girls, we're going to ask some questions. So we heard a true story about this woman. Who remembers her name? Sally Ride was her name. And who remembers what her job was? Yes, she was an astronaut. Does anybody remember what an astronaut does? Flies a space shuttle into outer space. We heard, what is happening in this picture? Tell me some describing words, what you see happening in this picture. The rocket is blasting off, it's launching. So when a space shuttle launches into space, everyone counts backwards from 10 until the moment it lifts off. Let's all count down from 10 together. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. Who can help me point? Can you guys point to outer space in this picture? Everyone point to outer space. Everyone point to the Earth in this picture. Everyone point to Sally Ride's space shuttle in this picture. Great job. I want you to pretend that you're an astronaut just like Sally Ride. Pretend you're in the space shuttle. What are you wearing? A spacesuit. Are you floating in the air or are you sitting in a seat? Who can you talk to using your microphone? What might you see if you look out the window? Would you guys like to be an astronaut when you grow up? Raise your hand if you would like to be an astronaut. What would be your favorite thing to do if you were an astronaut? Boys and girls, we heard the word decided. Listen for the word decided while I read part of the read aloud you already heard. Decided means made a choice. Sally Ride decided to be an astronaut. She made up her mind that she wanted to fly into space when she grew up. She made a choice, so she decided. Say the word with me, decided. Great job. Sally Ride decided she wanted to be an astronaut. Sally Ride decided to work hard in school and learn a lot about science. Sally Ride decided to become a member of a team of astronauts. Sally Ride decided to drive a space shuttle as it launched into space. Sally Ride decided to look out of the space shuttle's window and see the Earth below. Sally Ride decided to do somersaults inside the spaceship. Sally Ride decided to tell lots of people what it was like to be an astronaut. The end.